Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to I've Got Next. Gonna play a little bit of Stray today, possibly set up for a future long play here, but Smeef Erickson and I have been pretty much on opposite schedules for a while and having a little trouble getting together to record. So we've both been doing some little solo videos while we wait for things to die down here. I'm just sitting in my apartment, listening to the snowfall outside, and thought I would play something a little cozy and a little friendly, but with just a little bit of mystery to it today. So, if you don't know, Stray is pretty much just the adventures of a kitten in a very strange world. Just kind of playing through and talking as I go here, no real script to speak of. But I was reminded of quite a few movies that came out when I was a kid. Probably most notably the Homeward Bound movie and its sequel, Homeward Bound 2: Lost in San Francisco. Basically just the story of some really awful pet owners who move across country and leave their pets at home. And the pets will go through some incredible adventures as they try and get back to their crappy owners. Right off the bat here, this game starts pretty hardcore on, hey, you like kittens, right? Immediately become attached to our main protagonist here. Just absolutely adorable behavior. Just saccharine to the point of diabetic. But of course, Homeward Bound not the first of these movies. That might go to the Walt Disney movie Incredible Journey, 1963, black and white, but basically the same premise as Homeward Bound. Pretty much just down to the letter. Now, another one that I remember fondly, but I don't know if it holds up well at all, I haven't seen it forever, is in 1986 they made Milo and Otis. Adventures of a little orange tabby and a pug going on wild adventures. But our protagonist in this game doesn't really have a name. So we'll just refer to them as Stray. And it kind of becomes apparent very quickly here that there aren't any human beings left in this world. Just cats. Cats and perhaps something else as we play through the game. A very pretty and stylized game, but kind of has a painterly quality to it at times, with certain colors and patterns. I also find it odd making cats the main character, because it's very hard to make a realistic cat, one that isn't voiced or animated, kind of seem like it gives a shit about anything. At least that's my experience. But as we pan out here, we see the vegetation overgrown and kind of a post-apocalyptic or post-something society here. Not even really a whole lot of wildlife except for these cats as they traverse some kind of industrial drainage canal. And with absolutely no backstory at all, the game begins. Just kind of assume that these cats have been traveling together for a while. What have they been eating? Oh yeah, you have a dedicated mail button that you could just hammer this non-stop if you want. If that's how you want to live your life. But how have these cats survived? What have they eaten? Who knows? Not important. But oh man, can't pass up the chance to do cat behavior. Faster you tap those buttons, the just more destructive your tiny kitten is. Oh, drink a little possible industrial runoff. And that's why these cats can do such wild things and survive out. Maybe it's some kind of radioactive mutation. I'm trying to think of another. I mean, granted, it's mostly kids' movies that are like this, just the animal adventure movies. There was 101 Dalmatians, if anyone remembers that, from '96. Kind of, I will say the live action and the animated movie both count. They tended to follow the animals a lot. I won't count Old Yeller. No one should have to watch that, especially as a child. It's a movie that just exists to make you depressed. And I would characterize these as adventure movies, or maybe peril movies. There's always animals getting into some kind of trouble and having to traverse great distances. So I don't know that I would count Babe, but I might count Babe 2, Pig in the City. That is a thought. I do love this intro, where you're not given a whole lot. You're just existing, just vibing with your family here, moving through a beautiful landscape, just experiencing the life. I think it is kind of the perfect length and setup to what follows. I find out right here that you can look behind you for some reason. I don't know how often this comes up, but there's a quick look in case, I don't know, the tyrant shows up or something. Observe. This is what I like to do in my daily life at my job is, if somebody is like, hey, look at this, is I just stare intently, try and binocular my vision towards them. Oh boy. Whoop, that's no good. And here, our protagonist's in trouble, and the three cats just look on. Because, what are they gonna do? Now, don't you worry, our protagonist is very resilient. Got a bit of a limp. Oh. Just have a little lie down. Now we get a look at something else that's alive down here. Just, to me, they kind of look like giant ticks. Just kind of gross little creatures. Well, And after a lie down and just a little bit of personal grooming, everything good as new. Just like a real cat. Do like the little computer readouts here. But now we find ourselves in the main kind of thrust of the game. We really just want to get back to our family, get back to the outside world, but we are in some kind of subterranean city with a lot of language that I don't recognize. But it too looks like it's abandoned. Little shopping cart there. And this camera seems to be somebody behind it as we mew at them. Lovely little stressed environment here. Not just the cans and trash that you see in lots of games, but also the weathering and wear and tear on everything. Just the cracking and pitting in the concrete. Looking at certain signage around here, we see that there's a reference to humans only beyond this point, and certain places where only humans can go. And there we see the body of it's clearly a robot, so something's going on down here. Hop across some of this Gatorade here. The game is very quick to point you in the correct direction, as you can see here, sometimes more obvious than others. Generally neon lights point the correct way, but here we know that something is actually guiding us. There is some kind of force here behind everything. Oh, something to grab. Bucket. Tiny kitten-sized bucket. What did this carry before? Were they decorative? Was this one of those buckets for scented candles? And they just kind of held on to it for too long? Yeah. For us, it is a puzzle-solving tool. Maybe it's those buckets you get at steak restaurants that are filled with peanuts. Some more classic cat behavior here. Just gonna knock shit off of high places. Hopefully there's no band of survivors down there trying to eke out an existence and, you know, a gallon paint can comes down at the speed of sound. It is addictive though. I can see why cats do it. Once you start, just have a hard time walking away from it. I like also what this game does, kind of with its general lighting colors. It's not afraid to go into some of the extremes of reds and blues. There is some very lovely colored lighting in lots of places in this game. And just kind of evoking strong feelings and emotions of abandonment, of, you know, just wonder and being in an unfamiliar place and having it kind of pop is an interesting thing. Kind of the way we all reacted when, oh, yep. As a cat, we can't let somebody just have a rug. Gotta come over here and trash it and track blue paw prints over everything. Yep, gotta destroy this one too. They have to match. Perhaps you're some kind of devil visiting destruction upon this world, one frayed carpet at a time. Ah, the beaded curtain. I need this to come back. I don't see many of these anymore, unless you smoke pot. Lovely weathering on the tickers and the stickers and tags here. Just cat in a bucket. And again, more of these little creatures. Seen briefly. What do they do? Why are they here? A little light up sign with an arrow, clearly marking our path forward. Oh. This robot still has some life left in him. Yeah. Let's just add a little insult to injury in its final moments. Just smack it around a little bit. I guess I don't know what I suppose the cat would do to be able to help. But maybe we'll learn a little bit as we go. Ah, look at the blue, the light blue here. Very, very interesting touches. From blue directly to more warm reds. Almost glowing reds in places. Uh-oh. SpaghettiOs. The cat almost has a kind of tribal tat markings on him. Here we have our first little action segment. I don't know why this still makes me freak out a little bit. It's not impossible to die here, but when these things get on you and start to just latch on and drag you down, you slow down and have to press the button. For some reason, it really freaks me out. I don't know if it's just the cat protagonist thing getting to me. Ugh. Maybe it's because I do think of them as ticks. And seeing those things get bloated and stuff on animals is always very disturbing for me. Okay. Nice little glowing signs. And there we go. A little hard drive there. Clearly we know we're in a somewhat advanced area, the people that lived here. They love ramen, they can't all be bad. And again, I know quite a few games go towards the yellow lighting means progress and, you know, hand holding the way forward, but I really like the way this game marks progress with more diegetic would be the word for it. It's leading you to places and it's tutorializing where to go and giving you something to look forward to. But it doesn't feel out of place. It is in the world. It is not the developers pointing a sign and saying, hey, go this way. At least it is, but it is also, you know, the marquee for a restaurant that exists in the world. This says something. It's pointing us towards something. Perhaps a coffee shop or something like that. And while this may be silly, I love also how this just instantly from neon kind of cyberpunk-esque world, fog and rain, to just a cool, stark, very cold lit interior. And then back out again. Doing a little Metal Gear Solid 5 here. Oh, sorry, Metal Gear Solid 4. rolling around in the barrel, if anybody remembers that one. And then we're back to fog and gray and an environment that really wouldn't be out of place in, say, some kind of portion of Silent Hill if it were a little kind of darker and more hellish. But the bottomless pits in between buildings and scaffolding. Oh, come on, cat. You should have known that wasn't going to work. If you don't mind me bouncing off topic here, back to Homeward Bound. Boy, I should really go back and watch this and see if it's worth seeing. Couple of interesting things about the movie. Michael J. Fox is the new puppy that the family gets and abandons. I don't know how old he was at the time, but he couldn't. This was... Let me see. The original movie came out in 1993. Also, Sally Field as the Himalayan cat Sassy. Yeah, in a weird time where, you know, I guess technically they leave and go on vacation and leave the animals at home. Whereas now you could just put your pets in boarding for a while. If we decide to stick with this game, maybe that's what I'll do as little side notes, is just review all these old animal movies from when I was a kid, like Free Willy. Just really dig into all these things to see if they stand the test of time. Probably stay away from Where the Red Fern Grows. That's another one of those movies no one should have to watch, especially as a child. This cat is a parkour master, I will say. God, I think I've lived in this apartment. Just those tiny tiles, everything broken. Not so many giant wall fans, but cracking plaster and dripping pipes. Ooh, hello. I won't say how long my first playthrough of the game took me to realize what these are. They are batteries, kind of a universal battery that exists inside this world. To me, they kind of seemed like Chinese takeout boxes, but... do love these kind of Star Wars font intros to certain areas. Cow. What looks to be Key West there, maybe. Ooh. There you go. That's useful information there. How long could you keep a cat interested? with just the barest of instructions, we are going to perform perhaps the most advanced science the world has ever seen. As you can see along the bottom there, we have a couple of battery holes and just a room filled with detritus, including a very enticing lever. A little, what was that, PCI Express card fell off the back there? Does anybody remember those? Cat's just terrorizing this poor lab. They don't know what they're doing. I love the way, I know I said it before, but just the way this game does clutter is fantastic. I don't think the spider webs particularly work, but like every shelf here packed with books and things. Believable pieces of ancient equipment. And this kind of repeating picture here as it tries to communicate. A little drone companion. It's a good thing they're built to last. And not like my first 3DS, which after a drop of about a foot completely snapped in half. There you go, downloading a consciousness onto a construct. So easy a cat could do it. Then this weird mad scientist cat gets to act all surprised when it works. Oh no, what was that? I didn't have anything to do with it, clearly. Just a cat. Better initiate my one way of interacting with possibly sentient creatures that I know of. I'm gonna smack it. Another successful kill. Oh, no, it's fine. So here's an interesting question. And one that I like to think of while playing this game. Do you feel like the atmosphere is better or worse once this thing starts communicating in English? Presumably it's talking to the cat in a way that the cat can understand, but for us as gamers, people experiencing the story, it's communicating in a way that we can understand now. Now, I certainly think the game would have been a lot harder if it had to pantomime everything to a cat. But, you know, I do feel a little something goes away when it's no longer mysterious and acting on impulse or following signs. But what can you do? I think they made a fantastic game regardless. This little bit always gets me. Because, yeah, of course cats hate wearing stuff. Yep. Cat backpack. Eh, well. very interesting things. The robot can just digitize matter and store it in our little backpack now. That's an amazing feat of science that they apparently can do this but couldn't keep their species alive. What's going on? There's a radio up there. Also, I like this poster. Some strange anime that I would like to see. Reminds me a little of Red Line, a fantastic racing anime if you get a chance. Ah man, look at the way the wallpaper is distressing and tearing down like there's mold. Yep. There you go, there's our solving puzzles by activating keys and then opening doors. Well, of course I have to jump on the piano as a cat. I wonder how old that piano is to the people who lived here. Because they have, you know, digitization technology. So that piano is probably like owning, I don't know, some kind of musical instrument from the Napoleonic War now. Oh. No matter how smart people get, they're still copying their codes for their keypads and things. Just in the next room. Heck yeah, cat zip lines. And so you can see a little bit more of how this game is going to use light to direct you. Just off in the distance, this very checkered flag kind of green goalpost to go towards. Ugh. Someone let the king from the Mario Brothers movie grow a little too much. And there goes the bucket, returning home. It has to go, its people need it. Me too, B12. Me too. Ooh, and our collectibles for the game. Just unlocking the core memories of B12. Is it an alternate ending? Who knows? That was hyperbole, I know. Heck yeah. Ugh. It's getting a little grosser in places. Nope. Ho ho ho. And once again, I have to really commend the lighting in this game. Just this robot in shadows, the yellow behind him, the blues were coming from, and now just bathing everything in red. Fantastic. Just extremes that it goes through so quickly. And And then very quickly we enter into what seems to be a populated area. And we go from that same care and attention for living spaces and the wearing down of the structures around us to now characters that have unique clothing and not just kind of your everyday wear. I mean, look at that. What is clearly going to be a temple guard in... I'm sorry, that just... The cat staring on and just completely impassively gets me every time. Good, B12. The cat promises nothing. Its bloodlust must be sated. But look at the collection, the sampan in the background, the sarong. I believe that's a sarong. Just straight down to the kind of Tibetan influences on this character here as a warrior guardian monk. Now, I do like that you don't exactly communicate in standard video game style. You're not asking, hey, how do I get outside? You're showing it a postcard. You're kind of making connections on your own and then trying to show them things that relate to what you want to know. Oh yeah. It's good to know that works on all species. Why do robots need to meditate? They also kind of give off some vibes of early Max, at least in the faces. Might could play the original Oregon Trail on there, perhaps. Well, you know, it's as we expected here. There were humans at one point, but they are all gone. And these robots kind of are just here, continuing. We've also gained a name for our little tick creatures outside, the Herc, which sounds gross. Oh no. The most hated foe for any cat. The paper bag. And now the controls are not just backwards or upside down or anything, but they seem to just kind of randomly go until this cat can get the bag off of its head. A very cute touch. And if you meow at them, they have little hearts. Well, you know, at least they don't have the password right there. Or not just right there, that at least it's in code. Because I oftentimes like to lock my valuables up and then put the password for that container directly on the outside. Oh yeah. Get a little soft drink action going. See, you really want to get you a Boss Cola out of those. Or Boss Coffee. It's the good stuff. And my personal favorite, the corn chowder. Just heated right there in the machine. Fantastic. But now we have a whole little, I don't want to say town, but a city block to explore. With residents. Not all of them trust the cat. Does the cat care? Who knows? Ominous. And we know that someone in this town is someone we can check in on to see about getting the elevator fixed. I like this bronze cowboy here. Damn. Throwing out the G word about your fellow robots. As we get a little close to the end here, we will be back to our regular scheduled programming at some point whenever our schedules get back in line here. And if you like what we do, please like and subscribe. That certainly helps us out. And feel free to comment if you are interested in the game, or if you like it, or if you have some points you want to discuss, or if you just want to request a game. Let us know and we'll jump on it. And with that, I think I'll just leave you to fade out for a little bit, exploring this world.
People